Hello and welcome to the Lion Show. It's your boy Roberto with another one. All right, today, one of the biggest things that's key to marketing is understanding the deep bullshit that lurks inside of people. All right, so this episode is really just about like marketing, but it's from a different angle, something that you're not usually used to or used to hearing about at all. All right, so humans, from my 10 years experience, are deeply greedy, self-serving people that are irresistibly attracted to low effort gain and social status/ego. The results of every marketing message I've ever tested in countless industries have verified this to me. This doesn't make them bad per se. Yes, some are. However, we all want fast results. We all don't really want to work. All we want is recognition and wealth as fast as possible, and we want to feel like we're fucking wonderful, great human beings while doing it. That said, they love to cover up these true motives. In short, they will tell themselves and the world stories about why they are doing this in order to put themselves in positive light. This is in their own head. It is intentional self-delusion. Often the richer, smarter they are, the more they like to dig into self-delusion as well. I.e., look at all the top tech moguls in Silicon Valley. They act like they are champions of altruism while committing some of the most greedy and evil corporate actions in the last 10 years. Do you see this trend in Hollywood? A place of excessive greed, sin, and immoral actions that parade around like they are God's gift to the goodness? People with less wealth are more likely to claim they just want gain because it's right and morally justified for someone with little to want more. This is why more direct, short-term, get-rich-quick marketing works on them, but not the wealthy. The wealthy need a bit more narrative to feel good about their greed, because chasing more money when you're already wealthy, well, it's greedy. You don't need it. Why do you need more? That's the story they have to get around in their heads. It's actually hilarious to watch at events, meetups. The wealthier the circles you run in, the more virtue signaling and deep desire to sniff one's own farts get. They talk about changing the world and all sorts of altruistic hoopla, then go back home to focus on actions that are 99% self-focused for self-gain. Ever noticed how rich housewives throw $100,000 dinner parties only to invite their rich people friends to sit around and talk about helping those less fortunate just to donate a trivial amount, then go blow $30,000 on plastic surgery and purses the next day? The Goblin loves to hide under false goodness. How else can it get away socially with being a greedy, gold-obsessed little monster? Again, I'm not condemning people. I'm the same way. But marketing is about understanding people, their actions. You're not going to be a good marketer if you don't understand this about people or think it's not just there's certain groups. It always is. They just cover it up differently. Whether it's a church or an investor summit, they're all the same. Regardless, just understand the wealthier people get, the more they try to convolute this. This is because now that they have wealth, they have to justify their behavior to keep it for themselves or seek more. It's important for marketing. It's important to understand regardless of who you're talking to. But the richer they are, they'll do it themselves. And it's important to understand regardless of who you're talking to or what they say, the Goblin is usually the one actually in control. They are just wearing a mask and speaking in code. It is very, very common behavior. And if you're not aware of it, you will market in ineffective ways, because marketing is literally understanding what people want enough to act on. People hate for that delusion to be messed up so much so that most people speak almost in code. They say and try to get what they want through a filter of false positive goodness. An example is MLM. People on stage talking about changing lives in the world while they go to rip people off with Ponzi schemes. You can also see so many self-help gurus preaching love, helping others, etc. When you get them in a room, 95% of their convo is how to make more money from their followers. Anyways, the biggest key to marketing is understanding this in people and learning how to communicate to the greedy goblin underneath within the realms of their facet. The goblin is in control. It's just wearing a mask of a saint. Most bad ads and marketing I see think that the facet is real and try to communicate in terms of actual altruism. A perfect example of brands trying to build around improving the world, they usually fail. It's when a brand like Tesla connects improving to the world's social ego status via the facet that people are doing something right. That's where the fire is. No one gave a shit about the climate until Elon Musk made caring about it a sign you're better and richer than someone else. Is it any wonder in the first place a mass adoption was Silicon Valley, capital of excessive greed covered by intense false altruism? But see, what we did there, he communicated the desire of the goblin in the code of the fake altruistic facet. Same goes with virtually any other kind of marketing. Most self-help gurus idolize Tony Robbins because he changed so many lives. They idolize him because he's worth 500 million and 500 million and is insanely famous. They want that. They don't want to help everybody. They just want to be like Tony Robbins because he's rich as fucking famous. And they pay for it under the guess that they want to change the world. Most fitness coaches don't want to make people healthy. They want to be famous and rich from making people healthy. Most businesses don't actually want to make their customers' lives better or improve the experience. They want lower churn and the customers to pay longer so that they can get higher valuation. This is why you see marketing events stuffed full of self-help and enforced positivity and altruistic messages. It's so that they can feel good about aggressively trying to rip money out of the potential customer. Hell, some of these events go on to sell outright scams after preaching the world of God on stage and doing rituals commenting to help improve people's lives. How many gurus have you seen preaching God, giving back, family, and then go on to sell some of the most aggressive predatory offers on the market? I'm not condemning these people. I'm the same as them. You are too. Just hopefully you might at least be aware of your own bullshit. I'm simply stating if you want to market well, understand the creators you're talking to, not the facet, not the creators want to believe in. Speak to the goblin in the language of the facets, and you will get people to bend over backwards for your product because they can feed their real self, the goblin, while allowing themselves to pretend they are a wonderful human being. All the best campaigns or pitches I've ever done were speaking to the goblin directly without acknowledging the goblin is there. It works. Try it. I just think it's so powerful. And it's so true, though. If you're going to make marketing campaigns, right, we don't want to just directly call out the goblin. All right. I just like the idea of that it's there, though. You have to acknowledge that it's there. We all have this deep-seated, like, inner goblin that just wants to go collect all the fucking gold, live in our little hoard, fuck a bunch of goblin bitches, and just keep on like getting more and more for our own self-interest. And everyone wants that, though. It's a part of being a human being. I don't know where it comes from or what it is, but it's something that you just have to acknowledge is there. So if you're doing any sort of marketing, you're writing any sort of copy, you have to address the goblin directly without addressing that it's there. So you have to basically understand that everyone is interested in themselves. That's like one of the key things in marketing and everything. Whenever I cold call, you got to do like the 3 W's or whatever, who this is, what this is about, and what's in it for them. That's how you can get people's attention. Because if they know that something is in it for them, they're more likely to pay attention. That's the only thing they care about. Everyone is a selfish goblin inside who wants more riches and wants to take from everybody else at some level. I'm not saying everybody's like that. We can, I think everybody is at some level. Some people have gone above it, of course, but it's just a very important thing to know when you're writing your copy, when you're doing your marketing, especially if you're trying to make a profit. It's like goblin versus goblin. But if they don't know that they have that altruistic or that weird thing that's in the back of their mind that says that they want more money, right? But you can speak to that directly. You're going to be able to make a shitload of cash because you're going to understand them better than they understand themselves in a lot of ways. That's kind of the point of it all. And it's it's just something that has to be said, right? We can talk about all the fancy marketing techniques and all the fancy funnels and how to write the right, frameworks for all this stuff. But if you're not directly triggering someone to understand that they want more, like if you don't know that, like everybody out there wants to have a better status, have a better life, have more money, unless they already have it. And then if they have it, they have to justify why they have it and why they want more. So on all those fronts, if we can at least agree that the goblin is there, then in all of our marketing efforts, we should directly speak to the goblin in the nicest way possible. Okay. And this is kind of like a weird way of going about it, but it's just get over it and understand that everyone has this inside of them. And that if you're going to sell your product, figure out how to appease that part of every human person, because it's human nature and it's going to take you a lot further. So whenever you're making your campaigns or whenever you're writing your copy or you're making your ads or you're doing your marketing, try and speak directly to the goblin in some sense without addressing it directly. If that makes, I think you get it from that thing that I read. It's just like, it's so true. It's so powerful. So go out there, make some better marketing campaigns, directing it at the goblin, and make some money for your own little goblin inside you. I just love that metaphor. It's something I enjoy because it's there. We all know it is. It's just shit that nobody talks about. All right. Well, that was today's episode. I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.